Hey guys, Dan here with Battlefield Curator. Don't make these mistakes just to buy your next Milsurp. That's right, I've got a short list of things you should avoid doing just so you can have another weapon for your collection. Alright, so the first mistake you shouldn't make is to pawn other stuff away or pawn other guns away just so you can buy that next Milsurp that's on your mind. Yeah, because in the long run, you might say, oh, well, I'll just take it off pawn, I'll get it back. But no, what happens is if you're not financially stable enough right now to do that, then what's going to happen is you're going to lose that item or you're going to lose money in general. And the thing we want to avoid is pawning other things off like that, and that would lead to you losing money. What could you do instead? Well, you can ask the shop if they have a layaway program and ask what the details are. And also make sure to look at the fine print because you don't want to lose that item and lose money off of that item as well. So when you look at a layaway program, you want to make sure that you can manage the payments and you want to make sure that you're not getting screwed on a bad deal. A lot of layaway programs are pretty simple, so just make sure you're going to a reputable shop and you have read the fine print. All right, the next thing you should avoid doing is running up your credit card just to buy your Milsurps. Because what happens is now you're going to pay all that money in interest, and over the long run, you're going to be losing money. People don't realize it, but oh yeah, I'll just pay some of the interest off and pay some of it down. But over time, you keep doing that, you get yourself into a bad habit, and you've just eventually, you get down to a point where if you were to probably calculate everything, all the interest payments that you've made, you've probably lost a lot of money. So instead, what you should do is you should create a budget, like go through your monthly expenses, go through your monthly income, and see what you can afford. Set aside something in savings, and then you can end up making that purchase and making a wise decision to make that purchase. What you could also do is make sure that you have enough to pay off that credit card at the end of the month so you can spend that money, maybe get some hotel reward points off the credit card or maybe some cash back from the credit card. And then, you already have that savings, and use your savings that you saved specifically for your Milsurp collection, use that to pay off your credit card at the end of the month so you're not going and paying all this interest on all these extra payments. All right, my third tip here is don't YOLO on the stock market or YOLO on crypto just to buy your next Milsurp. Yeah, okay, so it's not 2021 or 2020. There's some YOLO bets people are still placing out there and people are still losing money. But during those early years of the downturn, after the downturn, you saw the stock market rise tremendously and people were just YOLO betting on anything. Shiba Inu Mini Mini stock, crypto was going skyrocketing and people were like, let me buy. And the bad thing about it is once you start hearing about those things going skyrocket, that's when people are starting to pull out their money, and all those high valuated prices, a lot of those people that are not very knowledgeable on those certain financial assets are starting to put their money in there at an overvalued price. So when they put their money in there, they end up saying, oh, it's not going any higher, and they've lost money. What I would say you could do is you could invest in stocks wisely or certain asset classes wisely. Now, I'm not a financial advisor. This is just my opinion. So go seek out professional financial advice if you want to get into the stock market. What I did was I read books. Books are cheap and there's a lot of knowledge in them. It just takes time to read them. I've also watched some YouTube videos to kind of back up the same things that were in those books. One of the books I read was called The Warren Buffett Way, and it pretty much describes how Warren Buffett actually invests in the stock market and what he looks for and how he values stocks. And the best thing to do, is, in my opinion, is to just, invest for the long term. Don't try to make all these bets for something short term. Start off, if you're starting off in the stock market especially, you shouldn't make those big bets because then it will leave a sour taste in your mouth and you'll never get back into it. If you got a 401k, IRA, an independent retirement account, index stocks are pretty good and they're pretty balanced, and you just keep putting money into them, and over time you'll accumulate extra income or extra either from dividends, or you'll just appreciate the value of those stocks, hopefully. Because not all the time do stocks go up, as we've seen in the past here, but when they do, it could be very lucrative to have already been in those stocks before they made the run up. Other types of assets you can invest in, that would be like real estate, or that would be like your own business. So instead of just, trying to YOLO bets on stock markets, use that money to invest into something like real estate, where you can get a monthly cash flow, or maybe invest in your own business. If you want to start a coffee trailer and go sell coffee at all these events that happen on the weekends now that COVID's over, you would probably make a lot of money doing that, and it'd be pretty fun if you like coffee. All right, those are my 3 tips, but I've got a bonus tip because you know what? I'm just feeling like I should probably mention this. You shouldn't impulse buy just because it's there. Let's say, yeah, you've got enough money to pay for it, but man, that price is ridiculously high, and they're out there for cheaper, but at the time you say, you know what? It's there. I'm seeing it. And what really is happening is that your emotions are starting to kick in, and you're starting to persuade yourself that you should get it just because it's there. Maybe you haven't even looked at the bore yet. You're just like, you know what? I should grab this right now. So you've made an impulse buy. You've grabbed it. You didn't realize that maybe there was a crack somewhere in the stock, or maybe you could have just bought it online for a lot cheaper and a lot better condition. But you just said, hey, no, it's there, and you had the fear that you were going to miss out on something, and you bought it. So don't let your emotions kick in your mind that way. Try to make logical decisions. Okay, well, it's here, but ask yourself, what's it worth elsewhere? What's the condition like? How's the bore? Are there any cracks? Start asking yourself logical questions to kind of maybe mitigate that impulse buy emotion that you're getting. So then that way you can say, okay, well, this one has these problems, and maybe I can find it cheaper online. Or maybe you can even ask the shop owner to say, hey, can you hold this for me till tomorrow? I just want to do some research about it. I want to see if there's anything about it that I need to know about before I get it, or what's the cost of ammo, stuff like that. Well, with that being said, what are some dumb decisions you've made to buy your next Milsurp? I know we've probably all been there, especially some of us that have been collecting for a while. So let me know in the comments section. And as always, be sure to learn history and curate history. Pulverize the like button, subscribe if you haven't. Make it a great day.